tight end Moose Ludwig has risen 129 places in the Rivals 2026 rankings, to the point it was so notable that Sports Illustrated wrote an entire article on it. So that is pretty wild. And we said from the film, when we were looking at the film, this guy seems underranked. This guy seems like he's going to be a problem for defenses. And now you're seeing, I think, what you're seeing is the hope for the future pass game. Well, a player like this isn't coming to Michigan if they think it's going to be a handoff, run the ball 200 times a game, pass the ball maybe 5 times a game, because tight ends don't just want to block. They want to be at this in 2025. They want to also have a place in the receiving game. Perfect example, Colston Loveland parlayed that into a very high draft pick. So with that said, I mean, what's your take on this? And I know you mentioned before the show about Tariq Boney. I'd love to hear about that too. Just like the respect is starting to happen here.
Well, it just goes to show that Michigan gets in early and in identifying talent. Moose Ludwig was the number 1 target for Michigan. Michigan was targeting him aggressively, and they were right again. The evaluators at Michigan were ahead of the curve, right? And I actually have been recently talking to a parent of a player, just discussions of things, and the whole ranking process and things of that nature are just not accurate, and you're seeing it. And another example of this, John, is Tariq Boney, who just received an Under Armour All-American invite, and I believe, what is he ranked right now? And his film shows a high upside player who has a lot of potential, and Michigan is just landing these guys. And if you look at our class right now, yeah, I mean,
number 91 edge. He's the number 91 edge.
Yeah, what's his total right here? 844. Just received Under Armour All-American invite, guys. That's typically a blue chip invite. And he crushed it. If anyone saw his highlights in the camp that he was just at, he killed it. And but if we look at like the three stars at Michigan, Jalen Pyle, many of us would argue should be ranked higher. Tariq Boney should be ranked higher. Mason Bonner, the high upside athletic offensive weapon tight end that Michigan believes can be developed into a really good impact player in the future. You see that just Michigan is just, and we know this because we pride ourselves on this, and a lot of fans really want to maintain our finding gems, hidden gems, unearthing diamonds. And I think Michigan, they're still on it, because what separates Michigan from other schools is they have their own evaluation process. They rank kids into tiers. They grade them individually, like in terms of, how are they on, what are, like, in terms of different skill sets, like what they give them grades themselves. Some schools do not put in this. A lot of schools do not put in the effort Michigan does. Michigan has a NFL approach in terms of how they scout and evaluate high school kids, thanks to Harbaugh, who implemented this system a long time ago. So, I mean, it's good to see that Michigan is still maintaining a good eye for talent. And what's interesting, and we all know this, is, Michigan players typically, as the year progresses, they start to trickle down the rankings again. They start to trickle back because the kids don't go to the camps. They don't play the political game that a lot of these ranking services actually, and like, I'm not saying the ranking services are completely faulty. Like, there's just a lot of margin of error. There's a lot of issue. It's impossible to rank 2,000 kids. It's not feasible. But they try to present themselves as they do, and they can, but the reality is they can't. And that's why you have kids who fall through the cracks. And a lot of schools will pick up on what Michigan's doing, and then they will offer scholarships after Michigan offers scholarships. But it's interesting to see Michigan still maintaining an edge in this evaluation process.
For sure. So yeah, I think it's they're definitely gaining in some respect in some aspects. I'm still seeing, for the overall Michigan forecast for 2025 and like the ESPN FPI and things like that, they're saying Michigan's going 8-4. And I just think that's kind of absurd because how on earth is Michigan going to have the same, like, one fewer loss when there was basically no quarterback play last year? Can we just remember that, it was the 131st passing offense in the country. There's basically no quarterback play. It was running game, defense, and Colston Loveland when he was healthy. That's it. That was the team. Mm-hmm. And Michigan got to 7 wins, 8 if you count beating Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl. So to say Michigan's going to go 8-4 again, or like near what Michigan did in 24, I just think isn't looking at the new OC, Bryce Underwood. I think the 9-10 win range is a little bit more reasonable with some of the additions that we're about to see on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at 9. But if it, I was on, for those who don't know, I was on the Oklahoma show yesterday with the Sooner Smiths, and the reality is that week 2 game, we're gonna get a lot of perspective. We're gonna understand a lot more about this team, what it's capable of, what it's not capable of, and if we do win that game, then I would argue 10 wins should be the floor. So. We'll see what Michigan can do with it. I don't even care. I personally, and I know we got to bring it up because it's the off season and these rankings are coming out. Personally, I don't give a shit about ESPN's FPI ranking or whatever, man. I mean, ESPN has consistently ranked Ohio State ahead of us and Ohio State winning the game and whatever. There's a reason, you play to win the game, John. You know what I mean? Like you like the paper's nice, and I know we got to talk about it. I feel like I'm shooting the messenger a little bit right here, but like I'm just saying, like the reality is, F them. We'll see what Michigan can do. Michigan will do the talking on Saturdays, and I'm excited to see what they can do about it.
For sure, you're not wrong. I mean, It is something worth mentioning, but it's also something worth laughing at because it's like every year this has happened. Mm-hmm. Since 2021, they've had Ohio State ahead of Michigan, and every year, Michigan's beat Ohio State's ass for the last 4 years. Everybody throw the last 4 years Ohio State score emoji in chat if you want to. But that's what we've seen. We've seen 3 Big Ten championship wins. We've seen a national championship win. And so just let him keep saying it because I think the coaching staff does a great job of using that as fuel. Right? They actually, since 21, they've really done a great job of chip on shoulder. What are you doing to beat Ohio State today? It's been a mentality change. It's been a mentality change since like I said, after the horrible COVID year. From then on, I think there was that shift. And so let them use it for fuel, and maybe it'll help even more get to a 10-win season.